Hello and welcome to this episode of Calin's Outdoor Adventures. Today we're going to be tying a size 14 Hare parachute. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with an Umpqua U Series size 14 dry fly hook. Okay, I've got my hook. I'm going to go ahead and mash the barb using the jaws of my vise. I'm going to go as far back as I can get. Just gently squeeze it to debarb it. There we go. Now that we have the hook secured in our vise, I'm going to grab some 70 denier ultra thread in an olive color. You can do this with like a gray or a white, a light brown, but I'm just going to use olive right here. So I get that started on your hook shank. Snip off the tag end. And we're going to wrap back to the beginning of the bend of the hook, like right behind the barb, just barely. Come back up a little ways, and I'm going to grab some mayfly tails. Here, these are in a light dun. You can also use like a dark dun or a light gray, something like that. And I'm going to grab a few of these. These are not aligned very well, so I'm going to put them in a hair stacker. Stack them a little bit, get the tips even. And at the tips even, I'm going to get tail measured a little bit less than a hook shank in length, like 3/4 of a hook shank. And wrap those to the top of the hook shank. Wrap those back down to the end of our thread base. There we go. I'm going to continue forward, wrapping. Right to about there. Like a hook eye and a half behind the hook eye. Turn those off. And now, just going to cover those butt ends. I'm going to grab some CDC feathers. You can use dark dun. Here I just have white. I'll also use like a brown. I'm going to grab a couple of these and go with 3 CDC feathers. I'm going to try to align the tips. Okay, now that I have the tips aligned, I'm going to bring my thread right about where I want the parachute post to start. And I'm going to measure these about a hook shank in length. And I'm going to tie these down to the top of the hook using a pinch wrap. Wrap back a little ways. I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to trim kind of a downward angle. Careful not to cut the tail. And just get these trimmed even. And then I'm going to wrap those down, kind of taper the body a little bit, and continue securing the parachute post. There, now the body has a slight taper. Then bring the thread back up to the front and kind of make a thread dam in front of the feather. Kind of prop it up. We start making our first wraps around the base. You want these to be pretty loose. Come up a little ways, come back down. A couple wraps around the hook shank, and go back up. Make this one pretty tall because the Hare dubbing covers up quite a bit. Now that I have that, I'm going to come back to just in front of the hook point, and I'm going to grab some pearl crystal flash. So I'm going to tie that in right there. Wrap that back to the base of the tail. Come back up a little bit. I'm going to grab some Hare dubbing. I'm just using natural Hare dubbing. get a little pinch, come down on my thread, make a dubbing loop, try to line the fibers so they wrap cleaner. And you kind of want one about a little over an inch. Just short little dubbing loop. Push that up to the thread, on the thread. And wrap back to base of the tail. And then just taking touching wraps. Can tighten my dubbing loop whenever I need to. Back up to the post. Now that we're there, I'm going to grab the crystal flash and I'm going to counter wrap the dubbing, opened spirals. Come in front of the parachute post. Tie that off. Trim it. And I'm going to grab a dubbing brush. This is actually just a little bit of Velcro. I'm just going to pick that out a little bit. You can do this afterwards if you want to. Just pick that out a tiny little bit. A little bit of bugginess. And if there's any fibers you want to trim real quick. There we go, it's looking good. Okay, now I'm going to grab some hackle. Here I've got some saddle hackle. And grizzly, you can also use like a light dun or dark dun, something like that. You're gonna strip back, about 1/4 inch of fibers, a little bit more. So I have just the stem showing there, and I'm going to wrap this with the shiny side facing away from me. Get this started on the hook shank. Right there. Come up the parachute post. Up to the top of the parachute post. Then come back down. And I'm going to grab some more Hare's ear dubbing. Come back to the front of the hook eye. I'm going to make a short, even shorter dubbing loop than before. I'm just going to wrap that on there. Just to form a short little thorax. There we go. Back onto the parachute post. Now I'm going to grab the hackle and I'm going to wrap it clockwise down the parachute post in touching turns. Okay, got like 4 turns on there. Go ahead and tie it off. Couple turns, trim it. There we go. A couple more turns over that just to tighten it up. Now I'm going to turn it down vertically. I'm going to grab my whip finisher, give it a couple turn whip finish. Careful not to trap any hackle fibers. There we go. That'll do. Tighten that down. Oh, thread broke. It's okay. Just go ahead and trim it. There we go. And bring it back up the right way. Straighten that tail. Okay, turn it and give a little bit of head cement. Just a little tiny bit right on that whip finish. Not very much. There we go. That is Here's your parachute. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe.